everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back playing Timberborn. In the previous episode we started gathering some scrap metal and turned that into metal blocks. So that is underway, which means we are gonna get metal blocks soon. Oh, we might have to add another storage here to store all the metal blocks. We have one for the scrap metal, but I haven't added one for the metal blocks itself. We do have a small warehouse right here for the logs that needed for this building. We'll see. If we get enough metal blocks, I will add another storage right next to this one. That's out of the way. We now have planks, gears and metal blocks building in our colony. So next thing we need to look into, actually what I would like to look into is the new automation stuff. Mainly to automate this dam right here. We want this dam to operate depending on the water contamination level. And for that, I think we need this thing right here. The contamination sensor. It will let us detect if the water is contaminated or not. But that requires 400 science points and we have only 148. Also, I have noticed we are frequently running out of power in this area, so we could really use a power storage in here. What was it called again? Oh, the gravity battery. Yeah, that's the one. It seems like this also requires another 400 science, which we do not have at the moment. So I think what we should do right now is get some science in order to unlock the stuff we need. We do have a couple of inventor huts right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and unpost them. Actually, we could do with a few more of them. That actually got me thinking. Right now we have 17 beavers and one free pet. That means we have capacity for 18. But we do have a lots of food coming in because of our farms and a reasonable amount of water, I would say. So I think it's time for us to expand our colony and get some more beavers into our colony. So to do that, let's go ahead and add a couple more houses right here. I think we can afford to have them, and we're just gonna have to wait until all of our builders go there and build it. Okay, a drought is approaching in 3 days. Hopefully we could survive that. We do have some water storage right here and they're not completely filled up. I should try to fill them up within 3 days. I'm more worried about our crops because at the moment only thing that's keeping them alive during the drought is that small dam we built at the start of the game. That's really concerning because if the drought lasts long enough, we're gonna be in so much trouble. So once we deal with the automation stuff, we should really look into building some sort of a reservoir in here in order to keep our plants alive. But for this drought, there's not much we can do right now, so fingers crossed, let's hope we survive this. It's been a couple of days in game and we are in the middle of a drought right now. But finally we have the 400 science point we needed. So I feel like the sensible thing to do right now is to unlock the gravity battery so our industries can work without interruptions. However, I'm really curious about the new automation stuff and I want to learn how they work. You know what? The gravity battery can wait, right? So let's go ahead and unlock the new contamination sensor. So let's see how this thing works. First we need to find a good place to build this. And I feel like on top of this dam seems like a good place for it, right? So yeah, let's place it right here. We need this to face the water source, don't we? So let's build it right here. I'm not really sure how this works though. We're gonna need to find out a way to connect this sensor to our floodgates. It doesn't seem like we can do anything in the sensor though. We can set a threshold and some logic in here. So how do we connect this into the floodgate? Oh, right here, automation and then select contamination sensor 1. Yeah, that seems to work. So this one is automatically connected to that one. Now we need to set the logic. So how exactly is this gonna work? If the sensor is off, the floodgate will be 0.5 meters. Is that how this gonna work? I'm not really sure, but it seems like the sensor has an off state and on state, and same with the floodgates. You know what, let's do the floodgates first. So if the sensor is off, the floodgates should be at 0.5. And if the sensor is on, the floodgates are 2 meters. So that's correct. Then if the contamination is more than 5%, the sensor turns on, which means the floodgates close. Yeah, everything logically seems alright, but the only way to know for sure is during a bad time. So we just gonna have to wait. Right now we have plenty of logs, food and other materials in our colony, and the only thing we don't have right now is a large enough reservoir to provide water for our crops during a drought. But I do have a plan for it. Right now we don't have enough space on top of this plateau to build any sort of a dam, but I was looking at this area right here. It's an uneven piece of land, which means we can't build much in here, but it seems like a good place to build a large water tank. If we enclose this area using levees, I feel like we could store considerable amount of water in here. The only problem is this is downstream from our crop field, so we need to figure out a way to get the water up. I do have a plan for it, and I'll tell you guys once we build this dam. So let's go ahead and figure out how exactly we're gonna do this. There's no way to plan things in this game, is there? That's a nice thing to have in a game. You could plan things before you commit any resources into it. Oh well, for now let's do things with levees. I want this to be one corner of our tank. So this should go to about that height. And let's see, I want this to be the next corner, or maybe right here. I don't want this to be a one large tank. Instead, I would like to have a couple of small tanks in here. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this seems like a good place for it. And let's go all the way up. And we could do the same thing this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, you know what? We're not gonna build anything in here, are we? So let's go all the way to something like here. So our tank in here is gonna be something like this. Let's add some parts so our builders can build it. I think they can place things infinitely down, so our beavers should now be able to build all of this. Well, once we have the logs, of course. Our forestry is providing us with enough logs, so I don't think this is gonna take that much time. Once we build these parts, we can move on to the next. To me, this seems like a nice place to end the episode. Today we have unlocked the contamination sensor and fully automated our water source filter system. We also added some houses in here to finally expand our colony. In the next episode, we can focus on building our new water reservoir and figure out a way to get water upstream. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. As always, thank you guys for watching. See you all in the next one.